I love that music. Tonight, I am joined by a special guest who is going to talk to us about community. You know, community is one of those things that we sometimes take for granted, but the community is where we sometimes get our strength, is where we get to bounce ideas. And sometimes the community is what gives us that fuel that propels us into the stratosphere. And tonight we're going to talk about how do we build an online community. So if you are a content creator, if you are thinking about just getting some people together online, you want to stay for this episode because our guest tonight is going to share all of her wisdom about how we do that. If you're new to me, I'm Dr. Dwayne Wood. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. And here on the channel, I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level, create the life you've always wanted. Yes, that's what we do here. So if you're new as well, go ahead and put new in the comments because I would love to welcome you to the show with a hand clap and some music. So make sure you do that. If you are here, right, you've caught me, and I was saying at the beginning or the middle, but we're always right now heading to the end of Vlogmas. And Vlogmas, as you know, is a time when content creators come aside and they try to expand, they try to improve, they try to grow and to get their content better. Every December, Vlogmas is what we do. And we are on day number 23, and we've done 22, sorry, I'm rushing it. And we have done a show every night through this Vlogmas. If you see this logo anywhere on any content, if you see this logo on any, you may not even normally go to that kind of creator, that content, but this month I want you to do that because that will encourage those creators as they try to refine. Now, what's the benefit? The benefit to the creator, us, is that we get to tweak, we get to grow, we get to try new things, try different things. And the benefit to you, our audience, our clients, our customers, our patients, is sometimes you get to see us do it live, right, and in person, as you've seen on this show multiple times. So my hat's off to all of my colleagues who are out there who are even now doing Vlogmas. Some of you are live right now as we are as well, or you may be taping, you may be getting something to put out, and my hat's off to you because I really appreciate what you do for the community. So once again, thank you guys for being there. Now here we have some guests, and we're gonna bring our guest on before we welcome them, right? So we can welcome them together. So if you, like I said, are someone who is interested in content creation, if you're interested in finding out how to grow a community, this is going to be an exciting episode, an exciting conversation for you, because my guest tonight is Keely Dunn. Keely is an expert when it comes to creating and managing online communities, and she's going to tell us about where she finds herself now. We're actually going to talk about her journey to this place and how she is being successful right now. So I'm not going to spend any more time just talking. So let's go ahead and bring her up on the screen. Keely, thank you for being with us tonight.
I was grooving all through the intro, I tell you. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. I love the music. I love the music. So, but yeah, thank you for being with us tonight. I have been looking forward so much to having you on, and thank you for agreeing.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. And I know we're going to get into this a little bit later, but let me just get this right out of the way. I am so proud of you. This is a big moment for me because I get to actually be here and watch you do your thing in person, live, and you have just come so far. You've been working so hard, and for me and everybody else in the chat who's part of the Mario's group, like, I mean, we can only just be just effusive with joy because it is so great to see what you've done. I was just beaming through your whole introduction because I'm like, oh my God, he's so good. He's so good.
Well, thank you so much. Well, so let's hop to the chat, right? Because we got some folks over there that I recognize. Let's bring them up. So let's see. We start, of course. Keely was saying hello to us. Discord creators. We've got Animal Paradise. So that is Janet. Hey, Janet. Thank you for coming through. Janet was with us last night, and she was amazing. And she says, Keely.
Janet.
And of course, Cheryl said, hey, party people. Hey, Janet, and we were with Janet and and Cheryl earlier today. Sorry, Cheryl says, "Hey, party people." Just commented to each other. Hey, Cheryl. Keely saying that. And party.
Cheryl!
That's right. Party tonight. Yeah, you should have been in the pre-party.
Yeah, no kidding.
We had a good
What happens
time.
in pre-party stays in pre-party.
And so rock and roll from Janet. That's right, Janet. We are rocking and rolling tonight. And then of course Cheryl giving us some hearts. Yes, Keely. Yay, Keely. Love the sweater. Hey, see, I told you.
It is so hot, you guys. I swear, next time I choose a costume for Christmas, it's going to be, I can see why people go with those skimpy outfits because at least you don't end up sweating underneath the lights. I tell you,
That's right. It does get kind of warm under these lights. So, oh, Cheryl, thank you so much. She said, yes, he's flying. Yay from Janet. We carried on without you, Coach. That's right. We had our group today. Yeah, I was just saying that.
Yep.
And then LBC
so
Braiding. Yeah, hey, thank you for coming through.
Branding, yeah.
Boom.
Michelle Lawrence.
So so excited for that. And I've watched your content, by the way, and I've actually taken some of your ideas. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that.
There you go, Michelle. Look at you making a difference. So Michelle, Dwayne, Michelle, be best friends because you guys are both dope people. And yes, I'm here to make connections. Michelle is part of my Creators Pod. So
okay. Yeah, that's right.
That I talk about all like incessantly with you
all
guys.
the time, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, cool.
She's one of those people. Thanks for coming. Oh, and Rich is here too. Oh, and all my peeps are coming.
Oh, Rich, now. Come on, Rich. So we're gonna have to just bring your entire group on screen, Keely. That's what we're gonna have to do. Look, just get them on here.
They might just show up, and they are very good at just hopping on live streams. So you never know. This could happen.
That's right. Awesome. Well, let's do this. And most of the people who are watching right now, who are in the chat, I guess, let me say, know who you are. But why don't you take a moment and just introduce yourself to the audience?
Sure. Keely Dunn. I usually start with of FH umpires, but I am going to make sure to convert that over to my creator identity or my community identity, Discord for creators. So I am a multipreneur. I've got 2 businesses going, which is a lot, by the way, and not something I would advise for anybody. Just on the DL, just don't. But I have been helping people build strong and vibrant communities on Discord for their content creator businesses for coming up to a year now, which is super fun. And the reason that I got into that is because I created a Discord community for my other business, FH Umpires, and totally fell in love with everything about it. I love the people in there. I love the way that Discord brings them all together. So I thought I need to share this with every other content creator I know. So that's basically what I'm doing these days, as well as coaching this amazing group in Luria Petrucci's accelerator program. You guys are great.
Yeah, I wonder what group is that. I wonder, they must be an amazing group.
They are an amazing group. They really are.
Yeah, so we love you too, Keely. We're and like I said, I've just been excited to come on. So this thing that we're doing this month is really highlighting people or doing the thing that they do in their space. One of the themes that has kind of come out of this is that a lot of people are doing things now that they didn't intend to do when they first started. So for you, what did Keely want to do when she grew up?
Oh boy. It's really funny because I remember I was playing for the University of Calgary Dino field hockey team, and I had made it into law school. And so there I was, a first year law student playing a varsity sport. And this was a big deal. I was the only one at the UC Law school doing so. And we also had this amazing team of very smart women. And so CBC actually came out and did a whole story about us. So they came with all the cameras and they followed a bunch of us around. So of course they followed me into my first year contracts class. And at one point when the class wasn't going on, they asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, I want to be a judge. And I was so convinced that that was exactly what I was going to do. And I think I sort of ended up doing that because I ended up spending 16 years as an international field hockey umpire. So I didn't stay in law for very long. I found it just not very fulfilling because I couldn't make people better. I could only just sort of put a band-aid over the wound that had already been opened up by that breach of contract or that personal injury or that regulation that went the wrong way. Whatever the case was, I felt like I was really disempowered from doing what I really like to do, which is helping people. And so as a field hockey umpire, I think I got drawn into that because I started realizing that if I did a good job, I could make field hockey games really, really cool. I could make them fun. I could make them a spectacle. I could make them fast. And the players could have the best time possible if I did a good job. So I got addicted to that. And it's just been an ever flowing process, I think, of me moving through different sort of careers, realizing as I've been getting a little bit older every day that teaching and coaching people is something that I absolutely love to do. And it's really gotten me to a place where I feel confident that it doesn't really matter exactly what the field is, but just investing in other people and believing in their capacity and learning from them as you are coaching them, you can do anything and you can make a lot of difference. So that's sort of where all that's gone.
Wow. So wait a minute. So you
Wait a minute.
realized
Wait a minute.
so you realized early on that this teaching part of you was there.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I was forced to do it as soon as I became an international umpire, which was around 2002. People started asking me to do courses. They're like, you need to teach the rest of us how to do this thing, and you need to teach us the rules and certify our folks locally. And I was immediately thrust in this position of authority that I actually probably didn't really deserve and certainly hadn't earned, but I really enjoyed it. And the challenge of, particularly in that sort of field, making field hockey rules fun, making the process enjoyable, trying to transfer just even a little part of the passion that I have for the sport and for enforcing rules to people that were in my clinics and my classes. I thought, yeah, this is actually really cool and just quite addicting. So seeing over the years the impact that I had in my local community just reinforced that, because there are lots of umpires now. We have one of the strongest umpiring communities in Canada, bar none, because, I've been able to work with a lot of them and I believe in them all, and it's just been an amazing journey. So I don't know if 2002 is early because I was still, I was about 30 at that point, but I got there and it's just been an ever evolving stages of finding different ways. And then of course, coming into the LSP program with you lot has been just another evolution in, oh my God, I can actually make a difference for people and inspire them and enjoy watching them progress as they are creating content. So yeah, it's been
Wow.
amazing. Thank you.
So it sounds like connecting with people also. So in addition to teaching, so connection for you, was that a big part of your life?
I don't think it was, because until I sort of got to this stage, because this might shock you, but growing up, I wasn't maybe the most generous, charitable, nice person. I was kind of a bit of a jerk, I think, growing up and going through my 20s. I thought I was a pretty big deal. And I needed to figure out that I absolutely wasn't. And that actually it was the other people that were a big deal. And that's what could make me happier, was to see them become bigger deals for themselves. So it's been a real maturation in my life. I've really grown up in being exposed to how other people, how they struggle, how they learn, how they're growing, and just becoming more invested in other people. It's just, I don't know, it's the classic tale of a human journey to be able to be that figure for somebody else. And it took a while, but I'm here. I'm here, and you're not getting rid of me, unfortunately.
And we're so excited that you're here. I mean, this is we're glad about the path. So there's someone right now who is their path is not linear. Okay. Mm-hmm. They started out wanting to do one thing. They're ending up doing something else, and they're like, "This is not what I be." And they're like frustrated, and they're sometimes even angry, and they don't have the capacity to learn the lessons that they need to at that point. What do you say to that person?
Oh, that's a deep one. Throw the hard one at me. I know how that feels. I think when you spend a good chunk of your 20s going to law school and being in a position where you can fulfill your father's greatest ambition for you, which is that you're going to actually make something of yourself professionally, you're finally going to make it. And then turning away from that within 2 years, 3 years, and going off to do web development and try to become an Olympic field hockey umpire. I know what twists and turns are like, and I know how much it feels like a failure. And all I can say is that now at this point in my life, everything that I did, everything I learned, every degree, every certificate, every weird job, every business venture that failed, all of those things have added up to who I am right now. And it has given me a skill set that I feel is, I mean, not truly unique, but it's pretty rare. And I know that there's things that I can give because of the rarity of the things that I can put together that makes me appreciative for all of the failures and all the twists and turns. So you might not believe me now, but just suspend it. Just go, look, there's nothing you can do about the past. You can be mad at yourself. You can regret, you can do all that stuff. But boy, what a waste of time that is, because it ain't going to change a thing. So just suspend that negativity. Just put it in a little box somewhere up on a shelf and then go with it. And then in a few years' time, you'll be like, hey, there was that time that Keely said that I'd be really appreciative of my failures. Grab that box, look at it, and then just boom, chuck it in the compactor, because it's done. It's gone. And you will not feel that way about yourself anymore, I think.
Wow, what a word. I love that. Now, did you ever, and I'm going to say that when I see you, I think you're a leader. Okay. Did you ever think back then that you would be a kind of a leader in a leader position? Or were you just kind of going through life doing your thing and this was thrust on you? Or were you, is that something that you aspired to, I guess is the question.
I don't think I aspired to it. I think that I didn't know that I liked people this much. I didn't think I'd want to lead because I'm like, people make me mad. And I love to make jokes now about my temper, and people do know that I am a little bit on that end of the spectrum, but it really has been a shift for me to be able to spend more time with other people. And actually, my dad taught me this, and this might be a bit of a long story. I'll try not to make it too long, but he's 80 now, and he'd been retired from his job since he was 51. He got a great golden parachute, but he sat at home for about 15 years, getting smaller and angrier in his own mind. And I was really worried about him because he's a pretty smart guy. He's my dad. And then he went to university, and he decided he wanted to take a major in Spanish and Latin American studies. And he would get free tuition because he was at that point then 65. And he, within weeks, was a different man. He was interesting. He was kind. He was talking about the people in his class, even though most of them were 40 years younger than him at least. He was like, oh, this person's really kind of fun, and this person's interesting, and all these kids. And he was having such a good time learning about other people. And I realized that because I'm my father's daughter, I'm exactly the same way. I tend to isolation, but that's not really where I'm best. And I need to just kind of push myself sometimes and make sure that I remind myself of how much I can grow and be a better person when I am around other people. So he taught me that, and I hope that I've developed a better balance now, and I'm spending lots of time with other people. And then occasionally I need to kind of curl up with a fantasy book and not think about talking to anybody or a piece of glass. That still happens. But not the way that it used to. And again, that's part of sort of that maturation process, is being an adult.
But I love what your dad did. I mean, he made a change. He made a decision, I guess, that he needed to do something different. Maybe not even knowing what it was.
He had no idea how it was going to change him. It was a very selfishly motivated thing. He just wanted to be one of those special old people that was getting a degree, and so that people would vet him. Honestly, like he would not be mad for me saying that, because he knows that that's exactly how he's motivated. But the ancillary effects, the things that he didn't even intend, it really did. It was absolutely transformative. And he'd spent just recently, he had been out of school for about 7 or 8 years, because he was going down to Phoenix, to Sun City with his spouse, and they were enjoying winters so that he wasn't in university. He just started back at German this year, because COVID's kind of disrupted all the travel and that sort of thing. So he's starting to do a German degree now. And the same thing happened. He was getting a little kind of small and not as cool, not as fun to talk to about political issues, that sort of thing. He starts German, and he's like, bang, let me tell you all about the cool people I've met. And here's some stories. And hey, there's this really cool book I read, Keely, you want to talk about it? Like, just amazing. And so I adore that. And I love that I've been able to learn that from him.
Wow, so community is so important. And we've got a community that's hanging out with us here tonight. Let's see. So LBC Braiding, she said, you're welcome. You're most welcome. I watch you too, Coach. Love it. Cheryl says, Keely rocks. Yes, she does. And I'm going to see. K-Walk Comedy. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Hey, she said, hey, Keels. And I'm going to give you a hand clap and some music. Thank you for coming through. Love that. And then Janet says, we love our coach. Yes, we do. And Silver Lining Home Place. Yep. Once again, thank you for being here on the show.
She's another one in the mastermind. She's a creator.
Look at that.
Yep. I didn't even tell them this was happening.
You just show up and they show up. Hey guys, thank you for supporting Keely and supporting us. We appreciate that. That's a key to life, loving what you do. It is. Thank you, Cheryl. That is so true. Passionate, fiery Keely, like it. Yeah, we could tell that there's a little fire in there.
There was one time where I think 3 of you spoke up in one of the big group sessions, and each one of you said something like, Keely's going to kill me for saying this, but here it is. And each one of you said something about how I would be mad. And I had to message Lori afterwards and say, they're just kidding. They know that I love them. Like, it's good.
You're fiery in love. There it is. Fiery in love.
Okay.
And then let's see. We are never too old to reinvent ourselves. What a great story. Yeah, what a great story. Yeah, love it. And guys, we're talking to Keely Dunn about community. And this actually is a good place to begin talking about that. So you've talked about your dad, and you talked about connecting. Why, first, is community important? Why is that something that's important at all?
I think if you take a step back from everything that we do as content creators, what is at the heart of it is that we are finding our tribe out here. We're finding the people that believe in the same things we do, have the same values, are pursuing similar goals. And it's not that we're the same. It's that we have these commonalities that we find within each other. And it is so powerful to find those people, to find your tribe, to find your fans, the people that you truly can help and transform, because not everybody is for everybody. There's lots of room for all the different personalities and styles and techniques and skills and subject areas that everybody has. But there are people out there for all of us. And when we realize the power of the community and how much more we can get done, because it's not just about us proclaiming unto the world, let me tell you all the smart things I know. It's not that. It's how much you learn from the people that you are communicating with. It's how much the community teaches you. That's when you go, I need that. I need that in my life. I need that in my content creation business. That's what's going to change everything. So to me, that's what the essence of community is that it is a many to many relationship of people who are all improving each other.
And you know, I love that you said that. We were talking, you know, prior to coming on, that it is the interplay of different people at different walks in their life, at different stages of whatever they do, content creation, that helps us all kind of to improve and to rise higher than we currently are.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
Absolutely.
I love it. Love it. So let's step back a minute and talk about your online life, right? So you went from umpiring, and so now you want to teach umpires. So how did you get online? How did that process happen?
I had always been a geek, and I talked about going through law school earlier. I was the first student in law school to have a notebook computer. And trust me, I worked this on my dad so hard. When I got accepted to law school, I was like, Dad, you know what would really give me an edge over the other students? Having a computer that I could take to class and take notes. And I sold him so hard. And he was so in love with the idea that I was going to be a lawyer. He's like, here, let me buy you an expensive computer. And back in those days, every notebook was an expensive computer. And so because I'm a little bit distractible, I would sit in class, and whenever my mind would wander, I would start breaking things. I would delete registry entries in Windows. I would look through the menus of certain programs and help files, and I was just constantly tinkering with what I was doing. So I was very much a natural nerd from that start. And then to me, it just felt like a very natural process to start. Oh, websites are great. I bet I could build one of those. Oh, I'm going to start teaching myself. And what I really liked about tech and web development and legal technology consulting, which was something I did before I went into web development, oops, forgot that part, was that it was kind of the wild, wild west. But if you could do it, you could do it if you were good enough. Whereas law was this very regimented. You had to be able to pass this test. You had to go to this school. You had to jump through these hoops, and you had to pay this insurance before anybody would admit that you were a lawyer. You could just put out your shingle as a legal technology consultant and say, hire me. Let me show you what I can do. And I liked that. I really got drawn to that because it felt very empowering and independent, and suited my rebellious personality, I guess. So that nerdery just continued and continued and continued. But I didn't produce content in terms of video online until the Panini. But I did start my brand of FH Umpires online on social media in 2006. So I've been at that business for a long time. I just didn't know how to make it a business. So it's just kind of always been there for me.
So I love this. I love kind of watching the changes and the different places that you go. So once again, talking to someone who may be watching this, right? They've got something that they like, that they love, that they're good at, that they want to teach, that they want to show, that they want to get out there, but they are afraid, right? They don't think, first of all, they don't think they're good enough. And they're asking, why should I be the one? Because there's so many other people that may be talking the same language or giving the same message. How do you encourage that person right now?
What do I say in our courses, in our meetings on Zoom? Honestly, you should put on your Keely voice and see, okay, what would Keely say in this moment? Without the swears.
Without the swears.
Yeah. So, okay, I'll pick that up and say that the most important thing you can do is show your perspective on everything. Because like I said earlier about building your tribe, that only you can share the information the way that you've learned it. and incorporating all the other skills that you've developed over your life. I don't believe in talent. I don't think that's a thing. I think people build skills. And your life is this accumulation of all of these skills that you've developed. And only you have that package. And only you have this manner of speaking and this way of relating to people. And that somebody needs to hear that. Somebody wants that. Not everybody, but somebody does. And those people will find you. They will find you eventually if you are consistent enough and you keep going. When people are scared and they think, oh, this is going to be too hard, or I'm going to fail, or I don't look very good right now, here's the good news. Nobody's watching you in the beginning. I have some terrible videos from when I first started that were, I just knew. I was like, I'm going to go live because nobody's going to be there. I was shocked when people started showing up. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm not ready for you. And that's part of it. That's part of it. Like, be okay with not being ready and embracing this anonymity of being small and things like that so you can get your reps in. But if you've ever played a sport, if you've ever played an instrument, if you've ever been an endocrinologist and you had to start from the beginning and learn the basic definitions and the parts of the body and anatomy and things like that, you had to start at the beginning. Things that right now you take for granted, but other people don't know, but you had to start. And everybody starts. So don't forget that. Don't forget that when you're content creating. It's exactly the same. You just have to start and work your way up.
Just have to start. That's right. That's right. Well, before I got another question, but let me hop over to the chat. We've got my real name is made up, so another one.
Hi, Sean. Another one. That's Sean.
And Cheryl says mic drop. I think she was talking about one of the comments you made earlier.
Which one, Cheryl?
Which one, Cheryl? I think we're a little behind. So we learn from our peeps and they from us, walking side by side on this path of life. Love that, Janet. Thank you. Thank you. Love the mic drop from Cheryl. Good question. I think the question was, why is community important? Hey, David Hunt. What's up, man?
You guys know each other?
Thanks for coming through. Yeah, I know David.
Oh, that's dope.
All right,
David,
right.
This is a double dose of Keely in your week. I think you need to bail. Look, I'm wearing the same clothes as yesterday.
Hey, tell her that's all right. That's all right. We reuse. We're repurposing. They're repurposing.
Yes,
there you go.
I am repurposing my sweater.
People build skills. Love that. And David just saying hello to everyone. Hey, David Hunt. Cheryl saying fire. Eric, hey, man. I should just leave that music playing all the time, right? Because all these people are popping in.
This is amazing. Keep it coming. Bring a friend.
So I love that everybody starts. Yes, that's true. That's true. Fire, fire, fire. So as we're in this space, Keely, and we're doing our content, we are trying to help people, right? And most of us are out here. We're helping, we're entertaining, we're teaching, we're all those things that we do with our content. How do we make sure that the people who need our content, first of all, is getting our content? And I know that's a big question.
That is a big question. I think, to put it simply, it's learning all of the creator tricks, all of those skills that you learn when you're part of a Luria Petrucci's program, a Doc Rocks program, any of the content creators. If you're just watching their streams online and you're taking in all this information, the way that you get your message out there is by, first of all, putting out the content. And then second of all, giving those platforms the information they need to understand who to put your content in front of. So all the things that we do with our titles and our thumbnails and our descriptions and maybe even the tags, all of those things are, we get ourselves all up in a knot because, it's the algorithm and it's really hard and it's unfair. It's like, no, it's there to help us get in front of the people that need us the most. So we have to feed it the right information. And that involves us titling our playlists and getting all of the right videos inside that playlist, because that's SEO. It's about getting that description in there that mentions those key phrases that people are going to search when they go open up the YouTube search bar and they start typing, what is diabetes? They need to find you, and you are going to be the person that gets found because you are putting the keywords that those people are looking for. And that's how we make these matches and to build our community. And then we just have to be consistent enough that these platforms say, you know what, that Dwayne Wood, yeah, he's for real. He's not playing. He's been doing this for 100 videos. He's been doing this for a year and a half. He's really here for these people. We're going to put his content in front of even some more people now, and even some more people. And oh, he's getting more likes. He's getting more engagement. Let's give it some more. So that is how we reach the people that we need to, is that we play the game, if you want to say it that way. But I don't think it's like that. It's just giving the platforms what they need to get us in front of the people that we are looking for.
Yeah, it's so often that I hear people almost fighting the algorithm, right? And so you're saying embrace it, and basically give it use the machine like it was designed to be used.
Exactly.
Cool.
Fight in the power, not in this case. Every other case, but not this one.
Right. And so let's talk about community now. So within this space, and I have to tell you that I love the community that I've found from the time I put my first video up and started watching. And many of you who are there don't know that I've been watching you, right? And there are people out there who've been watching. But from the time I ventured into the community, and even now as I'm beginning to interact more with the community, that fuels me. I mean, sometimes I'm like, okay, I got to do this because I talked to Keely, or Keely said this, or Janet said this. And there are a lot of things that are on this show now. The flow of my show comes from the community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
you felt a responsibility to us, didn't you?
And I felt a responsibility to it.
I need to do this because they've invested their time in me. And that is exactly the same relationship you are building with the people in your audience who are becoming your community. They're investing their time by showing up and watching you live stream. And you're going to want to give them the things that they are asking you for by the comments and the questions that they put in the live chat and things like that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was like, no. This is a good parallel. This is a good thing to say. So, but it's exactly the same thing. You're learning that skill and understanding, making that connection.
No, I had India on several shows ago, and she said something to me that never occurred to me. Okay, so right now we've got a bunch of folks who are in the chat, and she said, not communicating, not touching, not saying hello to the community, the person who's there, it's kind of like inviting somebody to your house, and you open the door, and they walk in, and you never said hello. And I was like, I mean, it's so obvious, right? But in the space, sometimes we don't remember those types of things, those courtesies of saying hello, of just talking and being personable to the people that are watching us.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen this from some content creators online. And I know Lori is very disciplined when she does her live streams, for example, that the hellos and things like that take part in a very set portion. And then when she does her content, that's in another portion, and she trims those things out. And I've listened to all that advice, and I know it's very good advice, that it's hard to keep people's attention when you're just saying hello to other people, because it is a very individual process. But I can't help but to say hi to everybody that shows up for my live streams, because I'm glad they're there. And I am recognizing them, and I'm making that contact. And I think that even if that means that people are going to tune out for a little while and they're like, oh, Keely's got 5 minutes of lows, I'm going to go get a drink. I'm okay with that, because for the people who I'm touching base with, I know how powerful that connection is. And that means more to me than my average view duration or my whatever, because I'm not there for sheer numbers. I'm here for strengthening the connections that I have with the people in my community. And
Okay.
that's my purpose. So I think when you understand your purpose, and if you understand what role community plays in your content creation journey, business, hobby, whatever it is, then you'll be able to make a better decision for yourself on that.
Wow. So that's a great point, or great place for me to say, why build a community? I mean, I'm out here, I'm putting out my stuff, and people are watching, people may not watch. What's the point of a community for the creator?
I don't know if you feel this being now in this space and you're watching so many people online, but there are a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people who have information to give you, who have valuable products, who are looking to sell you things, who want to teach you. And there's this full range of options, and it's a very crowded space. There's a lot of noise. How do I earn the trust of somebody that I'm going to be the right person for them? I need to be able to not just have a couple of contacts. Somebody isn't going to meet me right off the bat and after 5 minutes say, yep, I want her to teach me umpiring. It could take months. I've had people who have watched my YouTube videos for 3 years, and they finally entered the Discord server and they're like, hi, you may not know me because I've never commented before. And I'm like, where have you been all my life? I'm so excited you're finally here. And they're like, okay, chill. I'm thinking about a membership, but I still need to get to know you a bit more. And they're not being coy. It's just that that's what it takes these days in a marketplace where there's so many options for people. So you have to give those relationships time and space to flourish. And the best place to do that is within a community, because it's now not just up to me. I don't have to be the only source of trust. I can now call upon everybody else in this whole group and be like, look at this FHU third team. You want a piece of this action. Look how great they are. Look at all the things that they're doing. And then they start talking to those people and they're like, yeah, we love it here because we support each other and we've been learning and all these things that we're doing. And it's now more than I can possibly do on my own. It's the power of multiplicity. It's all these exponentially built relationships and networks. That's what you need in order to create fans who are willing to invest back into you the way that you want to invest into them. So to me, if you are a content creator who's hoping to teach, to educate, to learn, it's different than maybe being in entertainment solely. I think community is essential because it's just too hard to try to do it with people who don't have enough contact with you.
Wow. So points of contact.
Yes.
And I guess it goes back to the things that we learned in the past in terms of networking, right? Because you don't just meet someone once and then all of a sudden you guys connect and everything. I mean, that does happen, and those are rare occasions, but it's a building of a relationship that people can then say, hey, I see Keely, I've seen her, I see her content, I like her content, I want to connect with her, I want to be in her space, and the things that she does, I want to be able to get involved.
Yeah, absolutely. How many times have we all been on LinkedIn and gotten that DM from somebody who we've never heard of before? And I know that cold calls and cold emails have a place, but I don't know about you, but I hate those. I absolutely hate them. As soon as somebody tries to sell me something before, I'm like, can you like take me out for dinner first? This is like way too fast. This is not how I work in relationships. Like, slow your roll, big rig. This is something you got to work for this. Come on. So I think that it's a far more effective way to gain that platform and to be able to monetize your community. It sounds clinical, but it is the right word for it. But in that process, you gain so much from being able to talk to people because you find out what you can actually help people with. It took me forever to figure out how to monetize FH umpires. I didn't know. I was like, I know stuff about umpiring, but what do I do with this? Nobody does what I do in the world, even now. And what it took were conversations and all these multiple touch points with all these people so I could find out, what do they not know? What really bothers them? What are they looking for? What's their pain point? We hear that phrase, but that's what it is. What problem can I help them solve? And you need a community to figure that out. If you don't know, it's because you need more community, more community, more community. That's the answer to everything, I think.
More community, more community. Let's hop over to our chat and see what everybody's saying. So Eric says, a nice Christmas pullover sweater, Keely.
Yes, it's so hot, Eric. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to get this
No,
off.
tell everybody what the temperature is. What did you say it was? The wind chill?
Oh, well, it's not with the wind chill, but in Fahrenheit, isn't it like minus 24? Because it's
Minus 24.
it's minus 31 here in Calgary right now.
That is just like, yeah, it's crazy. Okay. Anyway, enough of that. So Janice said, I agree. The fueling of each other. I so love the support and the accountability, and therefore showing up for my people. Love this. Love this. She has a format. I think she's talking about Luria for the live stream. It is good if you can follow it, but I fail. I just have to say hi to people in the moment as well. Yeah. And then we got a heart from, who did you say this was?
Sean.
Sean. Hey, Sean. And then Silver Lying Hope Place says, when a regular at the counter doesn't chime in with a hello, I sometimes wonder if everything is okay. I've become attached to people in my community. Yeah, love it. Yeah. You're right, because sometimes you see people, and I'll tell you, for me, Keely, when someone pops into my show, and if you watch my shows, I'll go in and I'm energetic, right? Anyway, but when someone pops in, you can see it's like I get this. In those old movies where the guys are drag racing and the one guy reaches over and hits the switch, and the car goes right. So whenever somebody pops in, that's how I feel. Like, oh yeah. Yep. So
yeah.
All right. Yeah. So let's see, David.
I don't even know if people understand how much they can give by just showing up and making a comment like that. And I mean, Dina is Silver Lining Home Place, and her channel is all about doing live stream cooking. But it's not about how to cook. It's about why we cook. And so when she talks about the counter, it's the people who come and basically pull up a stool to the counter and just hang out while she cooks. And it's a really beautiful experience. And she's really starting to build her understanding and sense of what value that brings to her community. So it's another angle on community.
Okay. And so this idea, so you're a Discord, right? So Discord, and we'll talk about Discord here. As you're thinking about building a community, right? So you've got a show, you've got some content, you got whatever it is that you do as a content creator. What's the first step in beginning to build a community?
I think the first step is realizing that there's something that you can provide to those people in a safer space, in a place that is less accessible to the general public. People call it deplatforming your audience and pulling them into a community where it's a place where you can all just be a lot more yourselves, and you're not competing with, everybody's drunk uncles, political posts and cat memes and Zuckerberg ads and all those sort of things. When you realize that there's something valuable that you could give to people in that kind of environment, that's the right time to start a community. So, for example, you could have a very small audience, but you have a core group of, say, 10 people who really enjoy your stuff. And they have a lot that they could be teaching you. You could create a community space where just they hang out and they're like your sounding board, and you're asking them questions all the time about the things that they know about the subject matter that you're presenting on, the things that they're looking for. And you kind of build this special, they could be moderators, but they could just be senior members of your community. And you can start there, involve them in the process, access all the richness that they have, make sure they all know each other, and they'll start building the relationships. And boom, you have the little nucleus of a community. And then you can start growing from there.
Wow. So get the people who you are talking to involved in your process.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's cheap advice. And also they're the people who know best. They really are. So ask them. And the best way to do that is not to send out necessarily a Google form. People hate answering those, but just to talk to them on a regular basis, and you'll pick things up, even if you're not having specific conversations about what should I be streaming about.
Because that is a big deal, right?
Yeah.
But you know, that seems simple. And, well, I shouldn't say seems simple. It sounds simple, but we don't even think about that. I mean, we go through and we do all these evaluations of, you know, my metrics and what should I do, but simply asking people, hey, what do you want, or connecting with them is something that seems, I guess, to the content creator sometimes to be too simple a step in moving into the community building.
Yeah. And I'll be totally transparent here with Discord for Creators, which I started only 10 months ago. My own community for Discord for Creators is small, and I'm questioning myself and struggling with, well, why isn't it growing faster? Why isn't it like FH Umpires is? I'm constantly comparing the two. And I will put questions out there and ask, you know, hey, what's your favorite bot? Or do you even like bots? What are the things that you're worried about when it comes to that? Are you scared about bringing people into your community? I'm trying to ask questions, and sometimes I don't get any responses. And I think, oh, I'm doing this wrong. You just, again, have to show up consistently and create that space where people understand, here's another touch point. Here's another touch point. Here's another touch point. This person isn't going anywhere. They're ready to help me. Yeah, today is the day I'm going to answer back, and I'm going to actually give Keely a piece of my mind. I'm going to tell her what it is that I'm thinking about. And the momentum will start to grow. You just have to be patient with yourself. You have to be patient with your people and recognize how much work it takes to build solid relationships.
Wow. Well, we have a question.
Yes.
From Eric, I think it is. And it says, should my first videos explain why and how I came up with the name? Oh,
my real name is made up.
My real
Sean,
name is-
absolutely. Absolutely. You should do that. I don't know if that stream with Doc was the first time you showed up with that name, but if it was, we could go back and get that clip for you. That'd be really funny if you brought that up and you're like, yeah, I was told that I had to give myself a better name, so I came up with my real name is made up, and that would be great. So yes, you should do that video, because people are going to wonder what the heck is going on.
Right. And I guess going back to talking about community. Oops, wrong scene. There you go. But people want to connect with you. And so I mean, just like that a minute ago, right? I remember I had someone on, I forgot who it was, and I had the guest on the screen, and I hit my stream deck, and the name of my guest from the night before popped up, right? And yes,
been there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I just commented, I say, hey, that's right, we do this, and we're live in the chart. So I think sometimes we don't want to, let me say it a little differently. In an attempt to seem like we've got it all together, we miss opportunities to connect.
Yeah, that's probably very true. I wouldn't know, because I've never done a perfect stream. And yesterday, if David is still here in the audience, he was around, and he was actually like, oh, I gotta bounce. Sorry, I've got things to do. And then I made yet another egregious error in my stream, and he had to stick around to see how I was going to recover. It was so funny. I was like, David, why are you still here? And he says, I just had to see how long it was going to take you to realize your mic was muted. Cool. people love that. They really do. And
Right.
I've gotten to the point where I don't like making mistakes by any stretch. I get, there's that inner angry Keely who just, she's like this, but I just push it down because that person doesn't serve the community. The person that serves the community is the Keely that just laughs at herself and goes, yeah, chill. Let's go. And being able to roll with those punches also makes you, and especially in the areas that I'm teaching in, so with umpiring, I mean, what do umpires do all the time? Make mistakes. Even the best are still making mistakes. And I'm constantly telling umpires that I'm coaching, embrace these mistakes. It's the only way you're going to learn. I'm still waiting to learn how I'm going to stream better, but the lesson is still there. So if I expect that the people that I'm teaching to put any credibility into that statement at all, I have to live it. I have to embrace it and say, yep, I'm learning so much today by all the mistakes I'm making, and just put a smile on it and have some fun. And it seems to work. It seems to work. I said yesterday to my community, I can't believe you guys have stuck around this long to see how many times I've screwed up, but thank you. And they're all like, yeah, this has been fun.
Well, David is still here, and he said it was epic.
Yes. Yes, it was. And then he comes into the server afterwards. I do an after show my server every week where I hang out with people and swear my face off and say all the things that I couldn't say live, and just talk with people in a way that obviously I can't when we're just live streaming. And yeah, David shows up. He's like, hi, let's talk about microphones and why you're so bad with them.
I love it.
It was really great. And I get this opportunity to learn a few more things about David, because we have this casual conversation. I wish he was somebody I could sell umpiring services to, but we're not. He's just a really good friend. And he got to meet and talk to other members, of my community, and found out that Stephen Denman is a bassist in, his town orchestra and is also an audio engineer. So those two nerds were like bonding over microphones and stuff like that. And we're all like, okay, this is great. We're just going to hang out over here in this corner of the voice channel. It's going to be fine.
I love it. I love it. And, there's something to be said about being in a space with someone without an agenda to build community, right?
Yeah.
To just be there, and there's this kind of free flow of information, ideas, and thoughts and words, where it's not, okay, we're in a class, we're in a whatever live stream that we're doing, and that I love that you're doing that behind the scenes with your group. So good.
Yeah, I actually can't believe it took me so long to do it. And part of it was that just the stress of putting on live streams. So many people in the chat are going to understand this. Just that adrenaline rush and trying to get prepared. So I do a tailgate before the live stream, and more times than not, I am still setting up scenes and fixing things while I'm in a voice channel. But the people who show up, they're just like, yeah, Keely, that looks good. Oh, you got a spelling mistake in that text overlay. And, they help me out, and we just chill and talk. And then I'm like, oh, okay, it's noon. Gotta go. Gotta start the stream. See you guys on the other side. And boom, they're there. And it helps me feel more connected to everybody that I'm going to be live streaming to, because I've had this half an hour beforehand talking to some of them and realizing how much I appreciate them and that they appreciate me, and we're just friends, and it's just wonderful. So it's something that, you can think about when there's so many ideas, so many ways you can build community, but it's another extra. And it's something I provide to people who like, hey, you want more contact with me? You want to talk more? Like, I'm here. Let's go. Let's go into a Discord voice channel.
Wow. So glad that you said the word Discord, because I want you, I want you to talk about Discord in just a moment. But let's see. We've got, she says, Silver Lining Homeplay says, I've made it a game to see how chill I can be when something goes. I love that.
Honestly. And Dina is like working with sharp objects and
Mhm.
things that burn. And she is so calm. And, she's got like 8 cameras going, and she's got a
Mhm.
pantry cam and a stove cam and a cutting board cam and a lemon cam. She's got everything going on. And something breaks and she's like, yep, well, oh well, off we go.
Oh,
Another camera. And it's just incredible to watch. And we love it. We love watching her be real and experience it.
right.
So good
Good,
job,
good.
Dina.
Gary Jones says yes. Having a community to support one another is vital to our journey. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely, definitely. Hey, Gary, thanks for coming through, man. And then we've got
Is he one of
Elaine.
yours? Because he's not one of mine, I don't think. So
Gary Jones. Gary's been here before, so
okay. Oh, but you played
yeah,
music for him anyway.
I
Okay.
believe so. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then Elaine Dempsey says, making a game out of challenges is the sugar to the to the cranberry. Awesome, awesome, love it. So community, great. Let's talk about the platform, the format for a minute, right? So everybody's
Mm-hmm.
doing Facebook groups, everybody's doing, well, not everybody, but they may be doing other things, right?
Yep.
Give us kind of an idea of the platform and why it's important. And specifically, I want you to talk about Discord, because I think that may be relatively new to some people.
Yep, it is. Although Discord counts about 150 million people currently as members. So it's certainly not as big as a Facebook platform or have the social media reach of a Twitter, but it's a very functional and fun place to be. And that's the thing that really appealed to me. So, like probably everybody who's ever joined Discord, I was dragged kicking and screaming. I looked at the platform when a couple of young members of my community, one of them being 15 years old at the time, he said, "Oh, if you're having trouble with your Facebook group," because my Facebook group was terrible, it was crickets. He said, "You have to look at this platform, Discord. It's really cool." And I looked at it online and immediately went, "No, no way. Look at this place. It looks like a gamer fest. My people, I'm a serious businesswoman. My people are on Facebook. How am I ever going to use this?" And he just wouldn't take no for an answer. And eventually he set up a server for me, showed me what it could do, and the ease of which we were able to start a voice channel conversation, which incidentally isn't just voice, it's video as well. But we hopped into this conference call situation that didn't feel like a sucky box of gray Zoomness. It was just this really casual, like we were hanging out on sofas, like yelling at each other across from the TV and just hanging out. I was like, this is fun. For somebody who's been around the tech spaces and tried all kinds of tools, I just wanted to learn it. And then when we tested it out with some senior members of my community, bringing them in, the moderators, the yellow members who'd been around for a while, I was like, okay, you guys are going to decide this. Come in here and let me know if you think this is any good. Do you like it? Do you think it, you know? And I'm pretty big with a fairly old demographic of people in England. I don't mean to brag, but the 50 to 65-year-olds are definitely my peeps. And they came in and they were like, "Yeah, we like this. It's a little weird, but it's nice. It feels so immediate the way that we're speaking. It feels like I can reach out to all these other people, and it feels like we're just all hanging out together instead of being in a meeting." And after the fatigue of the panini, it was so refreshing. And that's the refrain that I keep hearing from people is like, actually, this stuff's really fun. All the emoji reactions and the GIFs and the voice channel and the games that you can play in the voice channel, this is really fun. And communities need to be fun. They really do, because you can't sustain yourself by being a taskmaster professor all day. So that's what attracted me to Discord. I know there's other platforms out there, and a lot of them could be good fits for a lot of people, but my spirit awakened in Discord in terms of community, and my people loved it. And I just want other creators to have the opportunity to feel that themselves, So I'm like, here, let me show you if this could work for you. And that's my mission.
Well, I've already told you that I'm on a mission at some point to get a Discord server. So so you're on. That's right. That's right. You're my gal. You're gonna be the one that gets that for me. So so I mean this is an amazing conversation, and everyone in the chat is just so excited about what we're talking about, because community is probably one of the most elusive parts of content creators' journey, right? Because they've got their content, they figure out all the all the devices and all the stuff, and they're going live and they're consistent and they're doing their thing. But just how to begin to engage people, I think, eludes us. And I'll just throw myself out there, right? Just eluding us as we think, well, how do I now be able to get these people so that they're not just interacting with me? And I think that's the key, that they're now interacting with each other and being just like I'm looking at the chat now, and your group, your folks are just talking to each other. I mean, they're just having a good time out there.
Yeah, they're pretty great.
So that's for me is amazing. So
yeah,
if you had to sorry, go ahead, go.
I was just going to say that I'd like to know exactly how to put that lightning in a bottle, and I'm studying it, and I listen to a lot of community managers and podcasts, and I'm trying to see whether there is a formula with it. But I honestly think that the biggest chunk of it is to be very interested in who your community are outside of just the subject matter that you've got. So for you, for example, it might be that you have some people who are interested in improving their health around diabetes issues. And you find out one of them plays ultimate frisbee every weekend. And you're like, oh my God, tell me more about ultimate frisbee. Wait a minute. Jenny plays ultimate frisbee as well. Jenny, get in here. Like, you gotta, what is it about ultimate frisbee? And you start helping to make connections between people, not because you're doing it in a clinical way, like, oh, if I add 2 + 2, that makes 4. It's that you're actually interested in what this whole, what the whole of the people are, and how you can uncover that in an unobtrusive way, not being creepy about it, not stalking them or anything like that, but just asking them questions about who they are, because that's going to help you be able to serve them better anyway. So why not? Also, it's way more fun than just talking about your jam all the time. So
Right.
having a casual setting where you feel comfortable in doing that, that's important. And I don't think you get that naturally in a lot of places like Circle or Mighty Networks and things like that. It just feels more stilted to me. With Discord, it just sort of flies off in places that you can't even imagine. You're like, oh, there goes the off-topic channel, off the hook again tonight. Everybody's talking about sports ball, or everybody's talking about, their favorite tune got released last night, whatever it is. And you're just like, yep, there it goes. And that is so powerful and so fulfilling to watch.
Now I'm gonna put you on the spot here for a minute. So you did a show with Doc where you help him set up his Discord, or you guys tweaked his Discord. What would be great for me is for us, when you're going to do my Discord, for us to be online and just do it while we stream.
Let's do this. I am so ready for this journey. That would be so much fun.
That would be awesome. And just let everybody come and watch. So. Yeah. And we can do that, because I'm sure there are other people who are interested in Discord, interested in building community, and this may be a way for us to just kind of jump off the cliff together.
Yeah. And I got some good feedback from that stream, which incidentally, at the time while it was going on, I'm sitting there going, this is a disaster. What are we doing? This cannot be interesting whatsoever. This is taking too long. We have all these awkward pauses, all this kind of stuff. And I mean, Doc's so experienced at this. He's never going to freak out. And I'm just like, okay, I'm going to go with it, but I'm pretty sure this is terrible. And then I had people contacting me. It was great because I could follow along at the pace that you were going. because you
No,
didn't know exactly what you were doing. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I totally meant to do that. Totally fine.
no, I mean it was good. I watched it, and when I finished that, because I had been thinking, okay, community, and after I watched that, I said, okay, that I'm going to do that at some point. I just have to figure out when, and I got to get Keely involved, and so the show itself that you guys did,
Yep.
I think it touched people at a place where they could relate. Right? Because they're thinking now, okay, how do I build my community? What should I use? What platform? And to just watch you guys walk through it, I think it was amazing. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think you just kind of flipped my words right back at me right now. So good job, I guess. Yeah, just the way that we were stumbling around and weren't quite sure. It does really show you what the process is like. Nobody knows what they're doing the first time. And that was the first time I had set up a membership program with the native Discord features for a US based server owner, it's been a feature for 2.5 weeks now. So that was it. And when I did it the second time, I did it with Dina, and it was a lot easier. And I just kind of said, okay, do this. And then I'd come back 5 minutes later. Okay, did you do that thing? Okay, do that now. And it was easier, but everybody has to start. Did somebody say that earlier? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. All right. Well, let's do this. We got to go. We have to go. This is such an amazing conversation, and I'm going to say to you that we've got to get back together, and we've got to do more of this where we talk through more of just community building. But right now, for any of the people who are out there who may want to connect with you, who may want to see what you do, see where you are, and even engage you, why don't you take a moment and just tell them how they can reach you?
Well, there's a beautiful graphic on screen that I would invite everybody to take a screenshot of and print it out and put it up on your wall. I'm just kidding. But if you find me at my website at discordforcreators.com, it has all the links to the various places, and including my server. But you can find me in all those, and I will answer any questions you have whatsoever. My DMs are open, as I've discovered with many spammers. I'm just kidding. It's fine. And I would love to hear, and honestly, this isn't about me saying, hey, come give me business. No, I just want to hear what things you're interested in about Discord. Because again, I'm at that stage of learning. So please help me learn and come and talk to me. And I may accidentally build community with you.
Well, love it. Keely, amazing. Thank you once again for being with us. And I'm serious about having you back.
I am so excited about this already. We're going to set a date right after we go offline. We're going to set a date, and it's going to happen. And I'm
awesome.
What a great idea.
Why don't you hang out for a minute, and we're going to close out, and I'll be back and we'll talk.
Brilliant. Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, thank you once again for being here. Let's hop over and let's go to our amazing question wheel, and we'll get to the end of this. All right, so if you've been here, you know about the amazing question wheel. If you've not, these are the rules. You see on the screen some questions on the wheel. I'm going to spin the wheel, and whatever question that lands on, I'm going to answer. The rules for the question is it has to be practical. It has to be something that you can use. It can't be nonsensical, and I've got to answer it in 45 seconds. Not 45 seconds from the time the wheel stops, but I've got to give you the answer in 45 seconds. And what we're going to do is we're going to clip that out. We're going to create a reel from it, whatever it's called on those different social media platforms. And you see right there under my name, Dwayne Wood MD. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. You can send your... we will put this on those channels, those platforms. And I want you to, when you find it, I want you to put in the comments, hashtag I was there. Hashtag I was there. That means you were here when we made it. Or if you're watching on the replay right now, you can say that as well because you watched me create the reel. or the short. Right, so hashtag I was there. You can put it on. You'll find me on all of those social media platforms. The other thing is, if you want your questions to show up on the wheel and you want a shout out, go ahead and send that same place. You can DM me, or you could send it to dwood. That's DWOODE at DwayneWoodMD.com. That's dwood at DwayneWoodMD.com, and we will put that on and we will give you a shout out. So let's go ahead and let's see which question we are going to answer tonight. Let's go ahead and spin our wheel. I get it over there. There we go. Round and round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. I keep saying I've got to get a different phrase. I will. Okay, what are some complications of thyroid ablation? What are some complications of thyroid ablation? And so some background for this, thyroid ablation really means it's radiation that we use to basically stop the thyroid from working. Typically, we do this for people who may have an overactive thyroid, and certainly for patients who have had thyroid cancer and we take the thyroid out, we also give them radiation, right? So what are some of the complications of thyroid ablation? So let's see if I can get 45 seconds on the screen. I got to think about that. Thyroid ablation. Here we go. 45 seconds on the screen and with the clock, and let's go. Got to remember the question. What are some complications of thyroid ablation? What are some complications of thyroid ablation? Now, the thyroid is the only organ, the only gland that picks up radioactive iodine. And so commonly the things that are related or close to the thyroid are the things that become injured. For instance, salivary gland, those can be inflamed. People can have dry mouth because those glands can then stop producing saliva. You can also have some GI upset, so nausea. People can also have symptoms where they feel like the tongue is inflamed for a few days. Those are the typical things that we see, but they do resolve. And all right. Well, that is going to show up, like I said, on all of our social media platforms. So go ahead and make sure you get out there and make sure you find it, and go ahead and put hashtag I was there. I'm so excited, guys, that you were here, all of the guests who came in, and I'm calling all of you guests because I love the fact that you came to support Keely. Wonderful information about creating a community, because community is so important. We are built for connection, right? Some people like less connection than others, and that's okay because we're different people. But as a community, we get to build each other up. We get to evolve. We get to grow. And I'm so excited that you have become part of our community now. We are in the middle of Vlogmas. Once again, if you see this logo on any content that's out there, even though you may not normally consume that type of content, I want you to go over and let that creator know that you appreciate the fact that right now, during this month, they are expanding, that they're growing, that they're tweaking, they're trying different things. If you've not already done so, I would appreciate if you would go over to my channel and if you would subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can get information and new videos that we put up on the channel. If you don't have an account, you can log in, create a new free account, and then hit the subscribe and the notification bell. If you are in the life of someone who's trying to subscribe, they don't know how to subscribe, help them out and let them know that that you're doing this with them. They can hit subscribe and then also hit the notification bell. I'm excited. Dwayne Wood, MD, that's me. And I have, well, this is the 22nd episode that we're doing, and we've got an amazing rest of the month for you. If you have not watched us before, please go back and look at some of our content that we have, that we did over the last several months. We hope that we will see you at the next video. Dr. Dwayne Wood, that's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here on the channel, I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health, your life, avoid complications, and create the life you've always wanted. Good night, everybody.